So I'm going to show you some shoulder corrections for if you had a T-spine mobility issue or a shoulder mobility issue. First thing it starts out with is foam roller. If you don't have one of these, pick one up. You can get one at Dick's Sporting Goods or Walmart or whatever, about 10-15 bucks. If you get an option, buy one that's a little more firm. It'll help really get into releasing the muscles a lot easier. So first one we're going to do is we're going to go after your upper back, your thoracic spine. And most of you had an extension issue at your T-spine. So I'm going to show you how to gain a little thoracic spine extension. So we're going to put the foam roller down. You're going to have it just at your mid to upper back. You're not going to have it on the lower back. You're not going to have it on your neck. You're going to support your neck so that you're not having to strain to keep your head up. You're going to keep your elbows up. And what you're going to do is keep your hips and spine in neutral. So you're going to keep your core a little bit tight. And you're going to roll through your upper back and forth. You might feel the muscles get a little bit looser as you do this. You don't want to strain. You want to relax over this, okay? So you're not doing a sit-up or trying to crunch. You're just rolling over the area. Then after a couple of minutes of releasing, I want you to just relax your arms back. Keep your core in neutral down here. Take a deep breath in. And relax back over the foam roll to try and gain extension. Don't drop your hips to gain extension. We don't want lower back or lumbar extension. We want your upper back to have to extend over the foam roll. Do that for about 45 seconds to a minute, and you can repeat it 2 or 3 times throughout the day. Okay, good. Okay. The next one's called a sunrise. And what we do is you're going to lock your lower back into place by having your top hip flexed above 90 degrees. And that's, as we rotate, that's going to keep your lumbar spine from rotating too much. It's going to make most of the rotation be up at your thoracic spine. So then you're going to have your bottom hand palm up out in front of you and put your other palm on top of that one. So that's our starting position. The bottom leg is down straight. And the first thing you're going to do is flip that top hand, palm up. And then the concept is that you want to try and maintain as much contact with the back of this hand and forearm to the ground the entire time. So I'm not going to do a great job of it. But what you want to do is breathe and relax and come slowly across as you rotate. See, I'm coming off the ground here. Try and get it to stick to the ground while maintaining contact with your foam roller on this side. And then when you come out to where you're in this T position, flip your hand over and come up your back. Try to keep the shoulder back. If you find a spot that's restricted, breathe into it. If you're out here in this position and you find a spot that's restricted, internally and externally rotate your hand and breathe to get it to relax back. And then slowly come back to your starting position. You'll do about 10 really slow reps of that. You should find with each rep that you get an improvement in the quality and range of motion of the movement, and you'll make sure you do 10 reps on both sides. It also helps T-spine rotation and shoulder mobility. It's not a stretch, but it helps you to improve that rotational movement of the T-spine and shoulder. For core instability, where we start is called a dying bug series, and we're going to show you a couple of the exercises we do in the dying bug series right now. So what you're going to start with is your one hand on your stomach, and that hand is going to tell you whether or not your core has tension in it. You shouldn't feel completely soft there. You should feel as though you're developing some tension through your anterior core. Then your other hand is going to go slightly behind your lower back. And what we're feeling for there is that when you're in a neutral spinal position, your lower back will be pushing into that hand that's underneath your lumbar spine. Then what Jay's going to do is bring his feet up off the table, but his knees are going to be bent. So in this position, you should be able to feel like you've got tension in your core. You've got pressure from your lower back going into your hand, maintaining neutral spine, and that you're able to maintain your legs up in this position. Now, what we progress it to make it a little bit harder is Jay's going to start alternating, touching his heels to the table. And when we extend the hip like that, that forces your core to work harder to maintain that neutral spine. So if you're doing that and you're able to maintain a neutral spine, you can also have somebody else put their hand behind your lower back so they can give you the feedback of how hard you're pushing into their hand. If you own that movement, then we progress on to, now you're going to straighten your legs and touch the floor. And by getting further away from your center of gravity and where you have leverage at, it makes it even harder on your core to maintain that neutral spine. And you'll want to do, alternate about 10 reps each leg. We're looking for movement quality, not fatigue. If you feel like you're having trouble maintaining this because you're getting tired, I want you to stop, because it's really about maintaining perfect core control and stability while moving. So technique is key.